Let me check to make sure that my Wi-Fi's on. Hmm.
How's it going, Paul?
Sorry, Ben. For whatever reason, my I it's hard for me to troubleshoot my Wi-Fi downstairs when my
Yeah.
Wi-Fi is upstairs. Um, one thing that we could do is I could call Jennifer and ask her to take a look at it. Oh wait, am I doing better now?
It's a
No,
little
I
better.
still look pretty bad.
Well, you look bad, but you're sounding better.
Okay,
I
let
mean,
me
you're super
take
washed
this
out.
down.
Yeah. That's looking good. I'm
Oh,
still
no,
getting
this is
some.
this is better.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still getting some audio artifacts from you and some occasional freezing, like now.
Yeah, and I'm freezing. Yeah. Huh,
Yeah.
that's really weird. I don't know what
It's a
the
good
deal
thing
is.
that
Well,
this is a
let's
thing that we provide for free. And we have one
yeah.
person watching. Hey, Steven.
All right. Well, let's do it then. Ben Lawrence,
Paul Goody.
how's it going,
I think I
buddy?
started my thing. Yeah. Oh, it's going all right. How are you?
All right. I am drinking. They have a new type of LaCroix,
A new LaCroix.
which is
Uh-oh.
Pastio?
Pastois?
Pastio? However you pronounce it, it's watermelon,
Ah.
which is pretty good.
As you can see, the booth light is on here at Annex. I forgot to turn it off. I was working up there.
Oh
Uh,
no, backlit, the worst
but
kind.
yeah, of course, I am coming to you live. If you're watching this live, and from last Thursday, if you're listening to this on the podcast, from Annex Theater. Annex Theater, we're still here. There was even an article in the paper. Brendan Kiley wrote
Hey,
a full-length
Brennan
article
Kiley.
called Annex Theater, Why Are They Still Alive? Which was great to hear. That people are confused and befuddled as to why we're still here and we're still a theater.
Was it a positive article?
Yeah, no. It wasn't like, what are
Yeah.
they still doing here? It was more like, they're very resilient. Let's dig into it.
How did they do it? Or whatever.
How did they do it? There was also a whole, like, Annex Theater causes cancer angle that we weren't too thrilled with. But the old space, Paul, you probably should take note of this because you spent some time up in the rafters. The old space had a bit of an asbestos issue, and we think we don't know.
You can't see my face.
We think,
but both me and John Oswald spent time up in that ceiling. Me for ATF of Burlesque, and John Oswald for the Habit show that came after ATF of Burlesque. And when I say came after, I mean it was like a late night. He did a bit where he stuck his head down from the.
yeah.
From
Now,
the,
here's why
yeah.
here's why you shouldn't worry. Because obviously I'm an oncologist and I know what I'm talking about. You were only up there for like 5-6 weeks, a couple hours at a time. The people who coincidentally, got cancer were hanging out in that building for 10, 15 years, right? Drilling into the walls, breathing the dust, for hours at a time. So and I say, correlation is not causation, of course. It just so happens that the people who were hanging out at Annex back in the late 80s, early 90s are now at an age where statistically you're probably going to get cancer.
Is Paul Giamatti safe? That's the question.
Well, I haven't spoken with his doctor recently, but yeah.
That's the crazy thing. Paul Giamatti's doctor calling me at all hours of the night, telling me all of his problems. Paul's got a little bit of it's because our names are similar, I think.
Yeah.
He might have me confused.
Paul...
I was gonna name some of Paul Giamatti's medical problems, but I'm not gonna do that on the podcast.
Kylie actually did get some quotes from Giamatti for the article, which made me happy because that told me that Paul knows that Annex Theater is still around, because at one point...
Yeah, that is one thing that we've always wondered, right?
Well, he'd given an interview somewhere...
Some people didn't...
Well, he'd given an interview in some publication where he said something to the effect of he didn't think Annex Theater existed anymore. Now, maybe he was talking about the Annex Theater of his day doesn't exist. He's correct. It's a different Annex Theater these days. Or if, the building isn't here in the company.
Like Capitol Hill doesn't exist anymore. It still does, but it's not the same Capitol Hill.
It's not the Capitol Hill of your parents.
Exactly. My parents never lived at Capitol Hill.
We have some...
So, yeah.
We don't have any corrections, but we do have some topic suggestions from Steven.
That's good, because I don't really have any news things right now. So let's get into it.
Well, I saw a Reddit headline that said, "World's dumbest congressman asks if scientists can alter the orbit of the moon." And I immediately knew who they were talking about.
You did?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I guessed who they were talking about, and it turns out I was right.
I mean, here's the thing, and I'm being serious now. It's a great question. As a thought experiment, could we do that? Like you go up there with nukes and you explode all of them, and you could probably push the moon out of... Maybe. What do you think? Could you or could you not? This is a thought experiment question, not a policy decision that someone from NASA should be asked to make.
We're going to blow up the moon.
Find out and get back to me, or whatever. That was the first thing I was thinking about. I didn't want to bring it up because, of course, we've got the whole... Has he turned himself into the FBI yet?
Okay. I've not heard anything. We're talking about Mr. Show actor Jay Johnston possibly taking part in the January 6th Capitol riot. This is going to be a great show.
And also played Whitey Good. Where they're going to blow up the moon.
Yeah. You know what? I heard that... Yeah, you're going in and out. I heard that the...
Yes, I am.
The Fukushima earthquake altered I think it altered the rotation of the Earth. And so you might be able to set off some explosion that could alter the rotation and therefore the orbit. I don't know if those things could be connected, but if you alter the rotation and that alters the orbit of the moon. But the effect that I think it would have would be more deleterious than advantageous.
That's interesting, Ben. I'm going to ask you to expand on that a little bit more while I try closing all of my other apps to see if that helps at all.
All right. So, yeah, if you can adjust...
I don't think so. I don't think it helps.
All the other apps on your phone?
Yeah, I always have a lot of apps open, but that doesn't seem to be it.
Yeah.
I would call Jennifer and ask her to check the Wi-Fi, but I can't because I'm using my phone to do the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, what a cursed world we live in.
Normally, I would just assume that the internet issue was on me, because as Steven knows, I am not impressed with the reliability of the internet here at Annex, but it seems to be pretty solid right now. I'm running a speed test.
The interesting thing is that you are very smooth for me. I am not smooth for me. When I look at myself on the YouTube thing.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Makes sense.
So you can see when you freeze.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And if I don't watch myself on the side of you, if I'm just talking to you, and if I would only be seeing you, it'd be fine.
Yeah. But now you know when you're in, like right now.
Yeah.
So anyway,
like right now, I'm frozen. Yeah, and I'm talking. So in the podcast, it's not going to look like I'm frozen, and they're going to wonder what we're talking about.
Exactly.
But
I brought up Louis Goldmert's question to scientists because Steven's question is, should we trust the BLM with the power to shift the Earth and Moon in their orbits, or is it more proper for that power rest with the UN?
Yeah, so one of the issues that I had was when I saw BLM, I thought he was talking about Black Lives Matter, which was kind of weird if you think about it.
But no, he's referring to the Bureau of Land Management. Are you getting
any of my audio right now?
I am. Yes.
You can. Yeah. Okay. So this is going to be a weird one, Ben. Your audio and my audio, trying to sync them up is going to be maybe impossible. I'm gonna make a suggestion. Ben.
What's that? Okay.
I'm gonna ask you to talk for a little bit about let's see.
Are you gonna just go upstairs and I'll tell you what I'm
about the first time? Yeah, I want to tell me a story about the worst food that they served at your school and the best food that they served in your school. And while you do that, I'm going to go upstairs and see where the Wi-Fi thing is at.
I think I'd rather just play a GudeLaurance video instead of trying to kill time.
Oh, hey, play a GudeLaurance video. That's great.
Hey, I'll just play our last week's podcast. Actually, no, we
Wait, what?
We did a video. Did I put that on YouTube? GudeLaurance Christmas.
Hey, Betty, I'm just checking. Are you like downloading tons of?
Oh, I see.
Stuff?
No.
Okay.
All right. Don't blame Betty.
Oh, you always have to blame Betty. You have to check. She's always on the dark web doing deals and stuff like that.
All right.
Oh! I think I know what might be going. No, that's not it. Hey, is this any better?
Oh,
Am I any better when I'm up here?
A little bit. So the people watching the stream are having a good time, but the people listening to the I'm probably just going to edit all this out.
No. Okay, well, whatever you end up doing, Ben.
Yeah.
I'm going to also check Jennifer and see what's going on, just to make sure.
If you have to like restart your Wi-Fi or something, let me know. I do have stuff to cover that. Oh, he's outside. He's frozen. He's gone past the range of his Wi-Fi. I just bought a new router.
What's the Wi-Fi?
Running fine right now.
Maybe you need to restart your phone.
And specifically for the podcast, it's worse than it's been.
This is
constantly freezing. I don't know.
This is how we do the podcast. I have a Frankenstein Mac Pro. I'm running 3 monitors, a USB audio interface. I've got a boom mic up here. I've got a whole bunch of different software apps open for streaming, for recording. Paul is using his phone. All right. Our audience is gonna watch a video right now because it looks like
You're gonna cut all this out?
probably gonna cut all this out. Nobody wants to listen to just me talking to you. Oh, and he's gone. He's gone away. All right. I am gonna play this video. Hey, it's Christmas in June, everybody. And this is going to be a nice, smooth transition. I could have smoothed it out if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. Well, hang on.
I have made a pact.
There we go.
I have made a pact with Jennifer that as soon as my beard goes white, I'm going to be Santa.
In what ways?
Well, the idea is I'm going to dress like him, kind of, right?
Okay.
I'll have, like, red clothes that I put on and wear everywhere. The glasses, the little readers that I have. I'll have the white beard. I'll have the white hair. I'm not going to ask children to sit on my lap, but I am going to have, like, a little workshop that I disappear into every once in a while.
Your Santa cave.
And I'm gonna laugh like like that. Maybe have a reindeer that just shows up every once in a while, or put some little horns on Edward. Oh yeah, hey, wait a second. Maybe I'll just be the Grinch. That'd be easier. Actually, would it? No, harder probably. You have to get a fursuit of some kind.
It's easy to be the villain. It's hard to be the hero. Do you consider Santa the hero, even though he watches you when you're sleeping?
Yeah, he sees you when you're sleeping, and he knows when you're awake. Okay, so now that's something. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. So 2 different senses, right? It almost seems like being awake is, it's more of a sort of telepathy. I imagine Santa's outside, maybe on the roof, and he's got his eyes closed, and he's having a vision of the child in the bed. And as soon as the child wakes up, boom, Santa can't see him anymore. And that's how he knows that you're awake. He knows when you've been bad or good. So the knowledge of bad and good, I would say, if they're asleep, he sees them. And that child that he sees, he knows if they've been bad or good. Now, he also can hone in on good children and bad children. And if he thinks of a bad child, but can't see the bad child, then he knows that the child is bad and awake.
Doing bad things, presumably.
Presumably. But I think Santa's very Judeo-Christian in this way that a child who's... Ooh, boy. Ooh, I want to say no. Wait a second. Santa's a little bit more forgiving than, the Old Testament God, anyway. In that if you do a bad thing, but you're generally a good child, I don't think you're on the naughty list necessarily.
Right. You have some leeway when it comes to Santa.
Let's go back now. You better watch out. Watching out is first. That sounds like a threat. Look out. Here comes Santa. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. So Santa
Hates crybabies?
hates... Yeah, we're honing in on a Santa that doesn't like negative emotions.
What about
Better not cry.
what if you cry for good reasons?
Like you cry out of happiness.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we're singing this to a bad child.
The whole thing is a morality tale meant to scare children into being good.
He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. So he's coming. And you can't hide from him. Actually, here's the thing. You can hide. You got to stay awake or Santa's going to see you. That's something that I hadn't thought of. But yeah, kids drinking coffee so that they can stay under Santa's radar.
So Santa's basically Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, well, or at least, some sort of a Wes Craven knockoff, if nothing else.
Paul, you're still breaking up.
To it at all, but Oh well.
Hey,
The image we're looking at here is
Yeah.
your cover.
Paul, we're back, and you're still
Have I
you're still your internet is
restarted
still
phone?
your internet is still terrible.
Yeah, and I'm still talking. I've been talking this whole time.
I was playing.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't know what to do. I've started my phone, and I saw that. I've been talking all the way through it, Ben. I've had a monologue to myself for the past 5 minutes, just narrating the poor internet connection that I've got. Jennifer doesn't know what it is. Aside from restarting the entire router, it's working fine for her.
Yeah.
I restarted my phone.
Yeah.
I don't know what the problem is. Maybe I need to do an update. Maybe my phone needs an update.
If you know what the problem is, let us know at bensemail@yahoo.com at gmail.com.
Yeah. Oh, Ben, is there a way for you to listen to me rather than listening through the YouTube? Like
I'm not what you're seeing isn't
like am I broken up coming into you? Oh.
No, what you're seeing isn't YouTube.
What I'm seeing is talking about yeah.
Now I can make it so all you see is me, but if that's what you want.
Well, but then I won't know how bad I'm doing.
Yeah, you won't know how bad you're doing. Which I guess will, help us along because you wouldn't you'll think that everything's fine and you'll just keep talking.
Yeah, it'll help me psychologically more than anything else.
All right, hang on a sec.
Oh wait, but are you saying that my audio is
you're
pretty much coming through okay? It's mostly my video that's staggered?
No, your audio breaks up every once in a while too.
Okay. But for the podcast listener, that's not going to be a big thing. I don't think. Hey, it's Ben. Oh,
hey, it's just me.
Better. Yeah. Hey, I think that we should do this from now on. It doesn't make me as nervous.
All right.
So, what's the next question or topic?
We'll see how far we get through this before you.
Oh wait, but who's the UN or the BLM? What's the BLM again?
Oh, the Bureau of Land Management.
I think probably I'd go with the UN on that one because Bureau of Land Management, that's just in the U.S., right?
It's a U.S. authority, yeah.
Yeah, because the moon is for everyone.
Unless Stephen was really talking about Black Lives Matter. But his phrase, his phrase is the BLM, so I'm guessing not.
Yeah. Although,
and probably not the first time somebody has confused the two.
The thing I'm thinking about, if we include Gil Scott-Heron in all of this, then Whitey on the Moon has some bearing to this discussion. Should we worry about, because if we had worried more about climate change in the 1970s than going to the moon, would we then have to alter the moon's orbit to save the planet, as this public official is suggesting, or would we be okay at
I don't
this
know,
time?
because I don't know.
Something to think about.
I don't know the rationale for wanting to change the orbit of the Earth and or the moon to fix climate change. I'm not quite sure what the reasoning was behind that, or if there is any at all. But anyway, that's enough. That's enough moon talk. But slightly connected.
That's enough moon talk out of you, buddy.
So slightly connected to that, one of the things that Steven had sent to us, and I don't know if you saw this, but Doge or Dogecoin. Is it Dogecoin or Dogecoin?
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's another one of those Elon Musk things, I believe. Oh,
It's
by the way, speaking of slightly connected, my internet. Thank you.
well, actually, Steven's
me a
question isn't
second
how to
to get
pronounce
there.
it, but that's my question: is how to pronounce it, Doge or Dogecoin? I don't know, but whatever it is,
I think Doge. Yeah.
a Doge investor hijacked the Bitcoin 21 conference and shouts Dogecoin to the moon. And there's a video clip of him getting wrestled off stage after taking off his shirt or his overshirt to reveal something on his undershirt. Anyway, Dogecoin slightly connected to Elon Musk, I think, because he's an investor or he just talks about it a lot. Apparently, after his hosting of Saturday Night Live,
Yeah.
Dogecoin took a dive in market share.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Um,
The one thing I have to say, of course, is taking off his overshirt to reveal something written on his undershirt. Back in my day, a person would take off their shirt and have soy bomb written on their bare skin.
He also took off his pants, but he
We're a
had
nation of
shorts underneath.
cowards, Ben.
Hey, it's
Okay.
cooking time. Also, Steven sent a link to a CNN article. El Salvador will adopt Bitcoin as legal tender.
Hey, that's not bad. Here's the thing. I'm fine with on the concept of it, right? It's like money is made up. All money is made up. It's fake.
I can't wait to listen to the show and find out what you're actually saying.
Of course, the real problem is the power needed to generate it. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Stephen had mentioned that there's a way to make it carbon neutral. I don't know what that way is. And so people will make the argument, well, it might be carbon neutral, but that energy still could have been done to make something else. Who's to say? So am I frozen and also my audio isn't coming through, or is my audio just garbled?
Your audio cuts in and out, but I got most of what you said.
I gotta say, I'm very, very disappointed with my internet today, Ben.
Now you know my pain when I am, say, running something from here at the theater and the internet goes out.
Oh,
now,
yeah. I can
fortunately, and this should set Steven's anxieties aside, I suppose, nothing serious has happened. It's just been mild frustrations. Like, I've run a couple of fundraisers, and luckily none of those have actually stopped because the internet crapped out. I ran a play from here. We streamed a play back in September, and we came close a couple times, but the internet came back on.
Now, here's a question for you.
Yes.
If it's my internet,
Yeah.
why
Which
are
it
you
is.
absolutely smooth and I'm the one that's choppy?
I don't know. I've been running a speed test pretty consistently throughout this.
Hey, how do I do a speed test?
I go to, well, you can just Google speed test and it'll bring it up. I use a
I'm going to
website called
disappear for a second.
speedof.me, which gives me my speed test. And yeah, right now I'm running about 80 down. We pay for 100, but that's okay.
Okay, I'm looking at speedof.me right now, Ben.
Yeah, I haven't tried
I'm
their
going to
mobile version.
Accept cookies. I'm going to start the test.
And I'm running about 102 up. Not bad. Right now, Paul
My
is running a speed
download
test.
speed is about 8 megabytes per second.
Yeah, it shouldn't be causing this many problems.
Now it's 9. Uh-oh. My upload speed, Ben.
That's
My upload speed is
nothing.
408 megabytes per second. That's bad, right?
408 kilobytes a second. Because if you're running
what about
400,
kilobytes
4.08?
3.37 total.
3.37. Okay.
Megabytes per second.
All right. That's, yeah.
Is that bad?
Well, I don't know, because I don't know what it normally is. That shouldn't be this big of an issue. I mean, that speed shouldn't present this big of an issue, so...
Interesting. Well,
I don't know.
All I can say, Ben, is that it's a good thing that we're spending all of the podcast talking about it.
Welcome to Troubleshooting Paul's Internet episode.
Whose fault is that? This guy's, and I'm pointing to me. You maybe can't see it because I'm doing it on the video, but that's it. So, halfway through the podcast when we started, but we may be cutting parts of it out.
Yeah. Just the part where
it'll be interesting to see what the edited form. I might actually listen to this next podcast just to see what happens.
Well, you never know. Maybe I'll forget that I said that, and I'll just do my normal slap the two audio clips together and call it good.
And then see what happens. Hey, so what was Steven's question about Dogecoin?
Not like anybody listens. I don't think he had a question. I think he was just proposing it as a topic of conversation.
Oh, let's talk about it. Well, that's what I know. I do know that Doge, Icon has Cheeseburger, where I used to work for a brief period of time.
Yep.
They had, I think Doge was loosely connected to that site. Because somebody spelled doggy like that, but someone else said that it looked more like Doge. And that's sort of how that word came about. There's a specific dog, and I believe that they did one of two things. Either they had shirts and stuff with that dog on it, or they got a dog that looked similar and did stuff with it.
Oh, the Icon has Cheeseburgers people?
Yep.
Yeah, they might have got...
the main...
Yeah, it's a pretty standard...
They would offer people money to use their content?
Yeah. It was a pretty standard Shiba Inu, so I wouldn't be surprised.
So, yeah. So if people sold it to them, they would license it. And if people wouldn't sell it to them, they'd sort of make a similar version of it, basically.
Wow. Solid business plan there, guys.
I believe that one of the reasons that our reality show wasn't picked up for another season was that they got mad at me.
You blame yourself. They got mad at you. You are the reason Bravo didn't pick up the show for a second season?
It's possible. I mean...
Explain yourself, sir.
I'm blaming myself just because I don't know that at all. Yeah, this is basically what I'm saying. Jennifer will tell you about this as well. I'm always like, I'm going to get fired. Everybody hates me, all that kind of stuff, even when it's not true. So, grain of salt with that, I would say. Hey, GRANASSULT, take it with a grain of salt.
And battery.
I don't know if that's anything. Like somebody getting punched with some oatmeal or whatever. I don't know.
This is interesting. So YouTube has metrics on your viewership, right? When you're live streaming, it gives you concurrent viewers, playbacks, chat rate, and average watch time. Now, I'd like to point out that we've been streaming for about 40 minutes now, and YouTube is telling me that the average watch time is 1 hour and 3 minutes.
For just this episode?
For just this episode. Dunno.
It seems like a lot longer than it actually is.
Yep. That's for sure. Yeah, I did a thing today that I haven't done since the pandemic started. I went across the street to Cupcake Royale and got a cupcake and a coffee. And
hey,
I haven't been in that shop since the lockdown orders were given, and I decided that I wanted a cupcake and that I needed some coffee because it's been pretty tiring today.
Well, you're fully vaccinated now, Ben.
I am fully vaccinated,
right?
But yet I still wear my masks everywhere I go.
I wear my mask now unless it says specifically at the front, vaccinated, you don't have one. Because that's what the CDC guidelines say, and I want to normalize the science. If I follow the science when it tells me to wear the mask, I will follow the science when it tells me not to wear the mask, and then everything's fine.
Yeah, there have been
That's how I'm going with it anyway.
No businesses around here that I have seen have said masks are now optional. Every place is still, you got to wear a mask.
Yeah. And I carry a mask with me everywhere. I'm more than happy to put it on.
I do too, on my face.
Hey!
So I was one place. Where was I? I think I was someplace where masks might have been optional, and I was a bit taken aback at that.
Huh.
Because there were people inside. Where was that? Where have I been lately?
Hey, there's something that Jennifer pointed out to me that would. She mentioned fast food workers, right? Around these parts, probably everywhere, aren't coming back to work, and it's not just because they don't pay enough. Because they'll take jobs other places for less money instead of working fast food. It's just that the job is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's horrible work. I have worked fast food. I do not like it. And I have a proposal that I will make on the podcast. I've already made it in the various social media things that I'm on. And let's bring back the automat. Are you familiar with automats, Ben? We might have touched on automats during one of the podcasts.
It's possible. Yeah.
Don't know. There's one that's featured in the movie Dark City, but it's a bank of little sliding windows, and you order your food, and your food shows up in the sliding window. It is specifically designed so that you never have to interact with another person. The person making the food doesn't have to. Yeah, exactly. The person making the food doesn't have to interact with you. You don't interact with a person. You put money in, you choose what you want, and then you get your food. It's just that simple. And some of them order anything. It's just the food is in the windows, and you go to which window you want, put the money in, then you take it out. Even better. So that is my suggestion, is that we bring that back. Somebody wrote back to me and said, this already exists in my town. The vending machine parking lot, they give you pizza. Basically, Little Caesars does it, and this is the closest thing, except that I still see people. But Little Caesars in Edwardsville, where I live right now, you can order a pizza online. It'll tell you when it's ready, and you show up, and you type in, your code, and then you just get the pizza out. You never talk to anybody. It's pretty great.
I saw footage of a dim sum restaurant where somebody placed a GoPro on a tray, and it's this conveyor belt that goes around the entire restaurant. And I'm guessing that maybe you pay via a person, but you don't have to interact with anybody when it comes to selecting food. The conveyor belts bring in is pulling everything by, and you pick up what you need. In Sodo here in Seattle by the Kingdom, there used to be a restaurant called the Iron Horse, which is a reference to a train, and you never interacted with a person. There were these train tracks that lined it was like a bowling alley kind of a hole in the wall restaurant, and train tracks lined the sides of the walls, and so a train brought you your menu. You wrote down what you wanted. You put your order on the train. It went back to the kitchen. A train brought your food. When it was time to pay, you put your credit card or cash on the train. It took it back to the cashier. And I am upset that now that I'm an adult, that restaurant no longer exists, because I would love to go there.
That is really awesome, and exactly what I'm talking about. Now, and here's the thing. I want to make this completely clear. Fast food workers don't do a bad job. Fast food work is a bad job. I would rather people get paid, and I'm serious about this, $15 an hour to do nothing than to force anybody to work fast food. It's a horrible job, and human beings made it up. It doesn't have to exist.
Yeah. And in fact, if you got rid of half the fast food restaurants, that will help climate change, because we don't need to raise as many cows.
Right. Because methane, is that what
it's a combination of methane and the resources needed to basically support the livestock. There was I think it was Super Size Me. I think it was maybe that documentary or some other documentary like Food Inc. or something that basically blames. I think it does come out and blame climate change on McDonald's.
I am no longer a vegan, as we know, but I'm getting back to eating mostly plant stuff. It's pretty good. I hear what food is based on now. This is my started. I'm going to throw potatoes in. No, I haven't been eating potatoes lately. I'm going to start eating more potatoes. Coincidentally, it's very cheap foods to eat, to buy, I mean.
Indeed.
And also they taste good. I brought up Joe Bowling to somebody recently again.
Speaking of potatoes.
His thing about buying food, make like a freezing it as a life plan is very interesting.
What kind of food?
Nothing but banana and carrots is another thing idea. Yeah, I thought the story that I heard was that he would get deals on food that's going to expire sometime soon, and then he would put it all together to make like a stew type thing.
He was
then
a thrifty
he would freeze
mofo.
that, and then he would eat it.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to do that. Well, I don't have the wherewithal to contact people to get their expired food. But also, I like a little bit of variety. I don't want this like beef and carrot and banana stew in my freezer for 3 months. Well,
and again, I'll point out also almost expired food, not expired food. There's a there's a window, but yeah, this is something else where I see where people are like, buying. Like, I had somebody who I knew who said that food a lot in Mormon stores, and the Mormons just have these huge. They have tons of large cans of food, basically. And maybe Sonia Walker could tell us if this is the case. Types of food. And the idea is that, you buy it and you keep it, and that's your stores for if the, civil unrest or whatever makes it so that it's hard for you to subside on groceries. Grocery stores are empty. You still have your little store of food.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm envious of preppers, I guess, for lack of a better word, or Mormons, if that's something that Mormons do, is that if the food infrastructure breaks down, I'm kind of out of luck because I have no stockpiles of food in my apartment. I will have to stop at the store on the way home to pick up
but
stuff for
I mean,
dinner.
and this is
Yeah, if you want to
kind of
revisit
the way
this
that I
riveting
think
conversation,
about stuff.
tune into the podcast.
And there was a there was a an advertisement that I saw of this guy. He was selling for survival, and what it was a kind of an armored trailer that you put on the back of your car or pickup truck that was full of food and survival gear and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like, this will, and I still remember this, that it would save you from rioters, looters, and civil unrest. It's something like 3 things that all translated into other people going
Yeah.
nuts.
Well, and here's what I mean, because it's a trailer, that implies you're meant to travel with it. But if it comes to a point where you need to use that trailer, chances are you can't drive very far. Because of road blockages, car accidents.
And this was my point too. World, I mean, to be realistic, the folks this is being advertised to are people who are afraid of other people. I mean, that is the situations that they lay out in the commercial are specifically other people are trying to take your things. And the only thing I can think about is if you're in that situation where other people are trying to take your things and you have a working pickup truck with a big trailer behind it, if I'm a human being who wants your stuff, I may not really care as much about the trailer as I do about your pickup truck. A working, operating pickup truck. Not a fool in his money or easily parted, but anyone with a working in the middle of a Mad Max scenario.
It's just a big billboard for I have resources, come and take them. Texas Senator Ted Cruz was talking about something. I think this was back when Texas went under a deep freeze and a lot of people, the power grid went out. People were freezing in their homes. There were rumors of like looters and rioters because when the power is out, security systems are off. Blah 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 blah. Cruz was probably pulling one of his one of his pro Second Amendment things, and he's like, "I got guns at home, and I'm not afraid to protect myself." And the headline that came out is Ted Cruz willing to kill his own constituents.
Yeah. That was around the same time that he left for Mexico for a while.
Yeah, and was shamed into coming back.
People enjoy not liking him, and the unfortunate thing is that he gives them reasons to not change their opinions. So it's one thing to be unlikable; it's another thing to be unlikable and then feed into it. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Steven says, dude, Cybertruck, they might be solar powered, so you don't need to worry about the gas breaking down after a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, look, you don't have to sell me on the Cybertruck. I still like it. It looks like a post-apocalyptic vehicle. It looks, Cybertruck looks like Airwolf, kind of. It's sort of, Damnation Alley, I think, is the thing that had something that looks like the Cybertruck.
That can't be a helicopter. No helicopter can move that fast. Loved Airwolf. Every episode, somebody looking over a radar said that line. Guaranteed.
Yeah, exactly.
He also says the best thing about
man.
the best thing about things like cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is the idea that civilization has collapsed, all money is useless, but your Bitcoin, an electronic cryptocurrency, somehow Bitcoin is useful and accepted as a medium of exchange. He also likes our Airwolf and Damnation Alley references. Well, your Damnation Alley reference.
Yeah. Armor-plated cockroaches. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that it is highly possible, as long as there's someone around that cares about Bitcoin, then it'll be worth something. And I would think that depending on how, the world goes, as long as there are computers and things like that, someone will care, even if it's just nostalgia for the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But I don't understand it enough, Ben, to really, make a big complaint. I was fine with it all in general, and then some people told me I should be mad about it because of climate change. And I was like, okay, I'll be a little mad about climate change.
However, if somebody wants to buy this podcast as an NFT and support GudeLaurance for the next year, to buy Paul some better internet.
I'm not holding my breath on that one, Ben, but yeah.
Did Airwolf and Blue Thunder come out at the same time? I know Airwolf was a TV show,
I think Airwolf was a Blue Thunder was also a TV show for a little bit.
Was it? It was a movie though.
Airwolf
was with Roy Scheider.
It was a movie first. Yeah. It was a movie, and I believe that there was a TV show based off of it for a little bit. Okay. But I think Blue Thunder came first, and then Airwolf was a response to that. Hey, do you remember Riptide, Ben?
I do remember Riptide. Not very well, I'll warn you. But that came around. That was out at the same time, like with a Spencer for Hire and the Fall Guy.
Yeah,
it was like
I kind of want to make
70s, early 80s TVs.
A role-playing game based on the Stephen J. Cannell universe. You could be the A-Team. You could be. I think was Knight Rider Stephen J. Cannell. I think it might have been. I don't know. He had so many good. And I'm putting good sort of in quotes, but I think The Master was one of his.
If not good, then prolific.
Yeah, and he had crossovers, just like in comic books. It was really cool.
Yeah.
But I heard the Knight Rider theme song. Someone played it live.
So, like on a
instruments.
Yeah.
When I say live, did they like on a synthesizer, like
not like on a guitar and drum set?
No, when I say a whole bunch of instruments, I really mean a whole bunch of synthesizers.
Yeah, I never watched Battlestar Galactica growing up, but I did watch Knight Rider, and so I didn't realize that the Knight Rider Cylon was light in the front was actually a Cylon light until I saw Battlestar later on. I was wondering why they all had Knight Rider lights.
Like, hey, spoilers for Battlestar Galactica. I think just like Battlestar Galactica, the newer one, I think the older one was supposed to be that it was happening in our past as well.
Long time ago.
Sure. And that at the end they always say a shining planet known as Earth, that's what they're headed for. But then I also want to think that there was maybe a mini series where they show up on Earth, and Earth is like modern day Earth, I want to say, but I could be wrong. For the old one, not for
yeah. I think I've seen maybe one total episode of classic Battlestar.
Yeah, I used to watch. That was one of my 1 hour a day TV shows that I was watching. I watched Battlestar Galactica. So So yeah, have we gone through all Steven's things, or are there more?
Well, he's contributing on the show text, which is B10
Oh yeah,
lung lag. If you want to text the show as well.
B10 lung lag.
I'm looking at the Twitters and nothing else there. But he said in reference to Airwolf, what an amazing writing challenge to set for yourself. A weekly series where an attack helicopter is necessary to solve the issue of the week.
Yeah,
You gotta imagine that show was sold and people were like, "Oh crap! Now we actually have to write this."
Also, I really like the fact that Stringfellow Hawk lived in a place that was inaccessible by anything but helicopter. That was also kind of cool.
Yeah, season 6. Russell just got out of a difficult marriage and is a little rusty on the dating scene. Fortunately, Airwolf. No helicopter
Also,
goes
I
that
believe
fast.
it was. I believe. Oh wait.
We've
hey,
lost him.
Ben. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to hold. I'm gonna. No. Oh, I don't want to.
Are you getting a call?
Let me just really quick. Yeah, I have to take this for a second. 1 second.
Nope. Paul's taking a work call. In that case, I'm just going to read the rest of Steven's comments here. In reference to Ted Cruz talking about defending his property against looters, and the headline saying that he's willing to kill his constituents. It's not the willing to kill part, says Steven. It's the seeming eagerness to do it. I think that's true. I think a lot of people who stockpile weapons are anxious to use them. Maybe not on people, but I'm sure there's some are out there. Paul Goody, is everything okay at work?
You know, it's. Hey, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it wasn't a work thing.
Somebody saying your social
somebody
security
calling
number
for
has been.
NAACP. There's a if I wanted to participate. I need to tell you, it's not that the NAACP called and said, "Hey, Paul, do you want to participate?" It's roll call, asking me if I want to participate in the town hall. Funny thing is that I put it on hold when I came back to the podcast, and then I was like, "Oh, I should hang up." I went to hang up, and it said, "Wait while we connect you," and I'm like, what did I do? So I hung up.
Yeah. One final thing.
I'm wondering, Ben. So sorry, what?
I was just going to say one final thing about Airwolf. Steven commented there was a whole bit where every show had a helicopter because you had all these Vietnam vet pilots running around.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, the other thing is that Stringfellow Hawk had a brother, and his name was St. John Hawk, but it was pronounced Stingeon Hawk. I remember that part as well.
Yeah, there's a restaurant around here or a bar restaurant called St. John that people abbreviate it to Sinjin. I never really took to that.
Yeah.
Like when people call it Cap Hill, I never really liked the paraphrase Cap Hill.
The other thing is that Stringfellow Hawk was a pescatarian in canon. There was a woman who was eating with him at one point in time, and she said, "You know, how could you eat that fish?" And he said something to the effect of, "How can you eat that lamb?" Like, and I think it was because the fish had its eyes still and could look at him or whatever. I wish I could remember distinctly that, Ben, but I can't exactly remember.
Pescatarian.
Escape from which mountain? Pescatarian. Did I say a pescatarian?
A pescatarian. I was trying to figure out what you were talking about, but I figured it out.
Yeah, pescatarian.
I saw a picture.
Let's try it. Hey, Betty!
I saw a wildlife photo
Show
of a grizzly bear catching a salmon, like in a stream, and it's biting down on the salmon. And two interesting things. The salmon, of course, salmon have like a constant surprise expression, but this salmon looked genuinely surprised. And apparently was pregnant because where the bear was biting into it, you could see all these eggs coming out. It's a bit gnarly. My mom.
I heard her say something. Let me check. What's that, Betty? Okay.
No,
Hey,
I don't
she's
want
showing up.
any of those.
So I don't know, Ben. We're coming up on the hour, but I don't know how much you're going to cut out, so we might go over a little bit.
I just got a text from my mom. She sent me a picture of some bowls and cups, and she says, need any cups, bowls, or plates? And then she says, there are 4 each. And originally I thought she said, these are 4 each? Like she was going to charge me $4 for a bowl.
I mentioned this at one time. When Betty was born, I had a coworker at a different job, not the job that I'm in now, who said, hey, we have a crib if you want it. And I was like, cool. And so he brought it to work. And I was like, so thanks, man. I really appreciate it. He was like, oh, well, I was thinking you would pay for it. And I asked Jennifer about it, and she was like, nah, no thanks.
Yeah.
And anyway, here's Betty.
He was hoping to get... Oh, jeez.
Hello.
Hey, Betty. How's it going?
Good.
I don't know where your dad went. We're having a lot of internet issues today. Are you having internet issues up top?
Not.
Yeah, see?
Um,
Trouble. I know your dad. Yeah?
I got out of bed today, and I guess some of the blood rushed to my head or something. So I'm having a little problem with derealization right now. So that's fun.
With derealization?
Yeah, it's where nothing feels real.
Well,
Anyways,
how do you...
that's it.
Okay, bye.
I'll see you later.
Thanks, Betty. You exist, and this is actually the real world.
And being on the podcast proves it.
Hey, so the fun thing about what Betty's dealing with also, both she and her mom, I think, are fully nocturnal now. She goes to summer school, Betty does.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not
Not Jennifer?
goes to summer school. I don't know. I actually don't know now that I think about it. I think Betty did go to bed during the week, but like over the weekend and stuff, they just stay up all the time.
So Betty just got out of bed? Like she just got up for the morning?
Well, no. That's the thing is I thought that she might have been taking a nap. That's the thing. Betty gets up at like 6:30. Jennifer stays up all night, drives her to school, comes back, stays up until it's time to pick Betty up, picks Betty up, takes Betty back home, and then goes to sleep. And then gets up sometimes. But Jennifer was up earlier this time, so I don't know what her schedule is this time. Should be interesting to find out. So here's where we're at, Ben. We're at a minute 1. Do we just want to stitch the podcast together and call it a big mess and just see what happens?
Yeah, this has been a big mess.
Yeah.
And why not? Why don't we call it and see what happens?
Should be fun because I do have. Here's the thing: no matter what, I do have an hour and 2 minutes of audio that we can lay over.
All right. And again, if you're listening on the stream or watching this after we've live streamed it, you just stumbled upon it on the YouTubes, listen to the actual podcast where we won't have these strange audio artifacts, but there's probably going to be more crosstalk where Paul and I are talking at the same time and not even knowing it.
So much crosstalk, you won't even believe it. All right.
Yep.
Thanks, everyone. And until next time, keep it